Okay, let's dive into this. For centuries, our whole economy has pretty much operated on a simple straight line. But what if that line could become a circle? Today, we're going to explore the circular economy, a really radical new blueprint for how we create, use, and, well, how we think about everything. So, to really get where we're going, you have to look at where we've been. I mean, the Industrial Revolution was a total game changer, right? It sparked this incredible explosion in productivity, it lifted billions of people out of poverty, and created prosperity on a scale never seen before. But all that progress came with a massive environmental cost. And that bill? It's coming due. For generations, this model has been the undisputed champion of our economic system. We call it the linear economy. And it's a super simple process. You take resources from the earth, you make stuff, you use it, and then you dispose of it. That's it. This model basically pushed the costs of waste and pollution onto society and the environment instead of, actually accounting for them. And that brings us right to today. Our relentless pursuit of growth, all fueled by that linear take, make, dispose model, has pushed our planet's systems right to their breaking point. So the challenge we're facing now is huge. How do we redefine our economic models to work with our planet, not against it? How do we keep developing without destroying the very thing we all depend on? So if the straight line is broken, what's the alternative? This is where the story pivots. We're moving from the problem to a really powerful new solution. So let's get into the circular economy. So what is it exactly? Well, the circular economy is a completely different way of thinking. At its heart, it's a model designed to do three big things. First, design out waste and pollution right from the very start. Second, keep products and materials in use at their highest possible value for as long as possible. And third, actually regenerate our natural systems, not just protect them. And this quote just brilliantly illustrates the huge mindset shift we're talking about. You see, in the old linear model, waste is the end of the story. It's a liability you have to get rid of. But in a circular model, it's seen as a valuable asset, a resource just full of potential for the next cycle. It's no longer an endpoint, but a brand new beginning. Now, a really crucial point here is that this is not some anti-growth model. It's actually the opposite. It's all about innovating our way to a smarter, more resilient kind of growth, one that's inclusive, regenerative, and can last for the long haul. It's about decoupling our economic activity from using up finite resources. Okay, so the concept is powerful, but how does a company actually make this shift? It's not just some vague idea. There's a practical playbook. Let's break down this 10-step guide, especially for manufacturers. So the first phase is all about redesigning your company's core thinking. It starts by truly embracing these circular principles, thinking about longevity, about reusability, right from day one. Then you kick off a clear strategy, you leverage what your company already does best, and, this is so key, you have to be willing to challenge that old, this is how we've always done it mentality. Next up, it's about reinventing where your value even comes from. This isn't just about making and selling a product, it's about innovating for what your customer will need in the future. You can use smart pricing to encourage circular behaviors, like returning an item for refurbishment. And critically, you shift from selling a one-off product to generating recurring revenue through services like maintenance, leasing, and upgrades. And finally, you have to rebuild your entire ecosystem. A circular model means you've got to maintain control over your products and materials throughout their whole life cycle. But you can't do it alone. It means you have to foster collaboration with suppliers, with customers, even with competitors. And ultimately, it forces you to redefine what success and wealth creation even mean for your business. Now, this all sounds pretty revolutionary, right? But let's get real for a second. This kind of massive transformation is anything but easy. It comes with a whole complex set of challenges that every single company is going to need to navigate. The hurdles really fall into three main buckets. First, there's the market and culture. You got to convince your customers to get on board with new models and overcome that internal resistance to change. Second, you have these huge supply chain and financial puzzles, like how do you build a logistics system to get products back, all while trying to finance the transition. And finally, there are major tech and data hurdles, because you need advanced IT systems to track absolutely everything. Okay, so the challenges are significant, for sure, but they are not insurmountable. In fact, there is a clear and actionable path forward for anyone who's ready to embrace this change. Let's take a look at the roadmap to 2030. It really breaks down into three stages. What should you be doing now? Assess your operations and grab some quick wins, like just reducing production waste. What's next? Prepare your IT infrastructure, redesign your products for circularity, and start piloting some new business models. And later, that's when you scale up the models that work and build out a whole digital ecosystem of partners to support them. And what's the reward for going down this path? A massive competitive advantage. We're talking about reduced costs, attracting the very best talent and investors, winning over eco-conscious consumers, building a more resilient supply chain, and forging incredible brand loyalty. See, it's not just about sustainability. It's about being a thriving, leading business in the future. This quote really puts the whole opportunity into perspective. The shift to a circular economy is way more than just a business strategy. It's a chance to be the architects of a fundamentally new, more prosperous, and way more sustainable economic era. It's a huge challenge that calls for creativity, courage, and collaboration. So I'll just leave you with this thought. For 200 years, our economy has been asking, how do we get rid of our waste? The circular economy comes along and asks a completely different question. What can we create with it next? And that single shift in thinking, that might just be the blueprint for our entire future.